Welcome to the Book Buzz Show with Cheryl, where we dive into the captivating world of books. Here at the Book Buzz Show, we encourage you to make your pages turn with joy and immerse yourself in a magical literary experience. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Book Buzz Show with Cheryl, where we dive into the captivating world of books. Here at the Book Buzz Show, we encourage you to make your pages turn with joy and immerse yourself in a magical literary experience. Enjoy the show.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the Book Buzz Show. I'm your host, Cheryl Brooks. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Also, if you enjoy the upcoming show, please share it so others can enjoy it as well. And please also like, follow, um, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And in case you are new here, the Book Buzz Show is now also a podcast. So you can follow us at the Book Buzz Show with Cheryl, wherever you get your podcasts. So you can check us out on the go. Also, this episode is being brought to you in partnership with Black Odyssey Media. And you can check them out in their roster of authors at blackodyssey.net. Again, that's Black Odyssey Media at blackodyssey.net. And the logo is up on the screen for those who are watching. Also, here is, let's see, a few of their authors that you can look forward to when you go and check them out. Uh, all right, and tonight we have a great show in store for you. We actually are bringing you two authors tonight. The first up is for the book Every Black Girl Dances, Candice Y. Johnson. The book cover is on the screen for those who are watching. Again, that's Every Black Girl Dances with Candice Y. Johnson. And without further ado, I'm going to bring tonight's guest and my co host for this evening on the screen. Welcome, welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Looks like we have a couple of ladies out in the audience already. Looks like we have Miss JB. Thank you, JB, for joining us. And we have Myra Cook. Thank you for joining us. All right. So we're going to get right into it. And as I was telling you off camera, Candace, I really enjoyed the book. I just want to get a little bit, since this is my first time speaking with you, if we could get a little background as far as how you got started on your writing journey.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. I really appreciate both of you for having me. And my writing journey is a little different. I have always loved reading and writing. I have been a freelance writer for various newspapers and magazines. I even was an editorial assistant for the Associated Press.
Okay.
But I didn't really have the confidence that I truly needed to believe in myself that I could be an author, even though I wanted to really bad. So I wrote my first manuscript, let it sit on the shelf for 10 years. In 2015, my corporate job said, we're eliminating your position. And that's when my husband said, okay, it's time to get serious about your writing. And so I got serious in 2015 about becoming an author. And here we are now.
And is this your debut novel? Is this the one that was sitting for a
This is
while?
actually my first traditional novel. So
Okay.
I've been writing a lot of books independently, but Black Odyssey, I had the pleasure of connecting with Entice, who is our superstar publisher.
Right,
And
right.
I submitted the book, and I tell you, it's just a dream come true when they came back and said that they really loved the manuscript and they offered me the deal.
Okay. Love that. And how did you come up with the concept for the story and the title? I love the title, especially once I read the book and figured out what it meant.
Well, thank you so much for that. I am an odd person where a lot of authors write their books and they come up with the titles. I actually have notebooks filled with titles. Titles just drop on me. And I have been a dancer. This is going on year 25. So this is a big year for me. I celebrated my 50th birthday earlier this month, and I've been dancing for 25 years this year. So I am a
Okay.
dancer.
Okay. All right. So I love that. I love that. And happy birthday and congratulations on 25 years in dance. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I know that most people know me as a dancer because I hid behind dance instead of writing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the title came to me, I knew automatically that the main character could not dance. I didn't want it to be about a dancer because everyone was going to expect that from me. So I had
Right.
to put the script on that. And I thought about how in life, just even at the ripe old age of 50, how often have I made decisions or choices and things like that based on what other people wanted versus following my heart,
Right.
which is one way that I got caught up waiting so long to pursue my true dream of being an author because I was dancing to everybody else's choreography, my own.
Right, right. I love that, and I definitely can relate. Now, what do you want readers to come away with after reading the book?
Dance on your own terms.
Love that, love that. And it takes a sometimes it takes a while to get there. Sometimes you get it with age. Some people never get there. But yeah, I can definitely relate to that, and I agree. So we're going to get right into a little bit of the story and the characters. And just so you know, people in the audience, we're also going to be doing a giveaway tonight. Where we're going to be giving away 2 copies of Every Black Girl Dances. And I'm telling you, you are going to love this book. For those who haven't read it yet, can you give us just a little overview of what it's about?
Okay, let me frame this so I don't spoil it. Uh,
Right.
it's a story of a black filmmaker, J.C. Burke, who people call the next Spike Lee, but she is struggling with becoming the first JC. She is making films that she doesn't necessarily believe in, but they've made her famous, made her money, so why not? Until she comes to a point where it's not enough anymore. The
Hmm.
money isn't enough. The fame that she has isn't enough. She needs to pursue her life for herself and not what everyone else is given to her. Some people can see themselves in her as she makes decisions based on what other people think is best for her
Hmm.
rather than doing what she knows in her heart she should be doing. And so it's just about her coming to terms with that dance in life.
Okay. And like I said, I definitely could relate. And before we get into the book, let's just get into do the giveaway just so we can just go ahead and start talking a little bit about the book. And so how this going to work, ladies in the audience, Candice has chosen a number between 1 and 50. So the person that comes, the first two that comes closest to it without going over wins a copy of Every Black Girl Dances. So put in the comments your number that for between 1 and 50, and then we'll let you know who is closest without going over. And JB is saying congratulations on the new book deal and the new book.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm
Welcome, Ola. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Katina, thank you for joining us. Karen, she's saying congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, LaShira Lee. Thank you for joining us. And then we have a few more people saying hello. Okay, so just make sure you put the numbers in the chat, and we'll just start getting into it. People are putting it in there now. Okay, now I could really, like I said, relate being a dark skinned woman, and especially growing up when back in the 70s. I was young in the 70s and a teenager in the 80s, and back then light was in. So you can imagine. I actually had a moment like JC on the plane. That's one of my standout moments, actually, in the standout, not in a good way, but in a bad way. It just stood out to me, that scene on the plane where the passenger, that was sitting next to her, just kept talking about her skin tone. Yeah. Now me, she handled it very well, because me, uh, I think I would have handled it a little different way, but um, but I actually had somebody when I was like I want to say in middle school, and they were older than me. Actually said, "Oh, you're so pretty for a dark skinned girl."
Uh-huh.
So I could
There it
definitely
is.
relate to this character in this book. It just took me back. So I commend you on that and bringing attention to that colorism. And what about you, Jennifer? Could you relate to JC in the book?
I could definitely relate to her, and not in the aspect of the skin tone, but where my weight was concerned, because
Mm,
they would say, "Oh, you're pretty for a big girl," and I'm like,
mm,
"Well, I just shrugged it off and said just, well, thank you, and went on about my way."
right, right.
But yeah,
Yeah, because I related so much just to a lot of different things in the book. Now I can't remember if you actually said in the book how old JC is supposed to be. Candace, did you?
Yes, she is actually in her late 20s. So
Okay,
she's
so
not
that's what
even
I thought.
30 yet.
mm,
She's 26.
And see, that's
And
what I could relate to, because in my 20s, where just about everybody in their 20s, that's when you're trying to feel your way through. You're trying to learn about yourself, and you do feel a lot of just like as a teen. I think in your 20s too, you feel a lot of that pressure, that peer pressure to fit in. Um, so I could definitely relate to her. I had to grow into my being more confident. Now I always have been somebody that if you pushed me push me, I'm gonna push back. But it took a lot for me to go there. So that's why I said some of the instances that she had, the situations that she had in the book. Um, it just felt like her self esteem was so low, or her opinion for herself was so low, that in a way it felt like she thought that she deserved that type of treatment, even from her boyfriend.
yes, and you just hit it on the head. I mean, growing up, I've always been, oh, you're smart for a black girl. And
Mm,
it's like, what does that even mean?
hmm.
And so these are things that I had to deal with in my life. Am I not supposed to be smart?
Right,
Because
right.
where is all this coming from? And there's even my mom and father did like a little collage for me for my 50th birthday. They did a scrapbook for me. And one of my elementary school pictures, it really got me because I was in the tag, the talented and gifted classes.
Hmm.
And there was all these little kids that didn't look like me, and there I was, smack center, the only one in the class. And my mom asked me, she said, it never occurred to your father or I to ask, did they treat you any different? Did they
Mm,
treat you different? And I'm
hmm.
talking, this is like a second grade picture. And being 50 now, I had to really think about my life and how often I've been treated that way and how often I've accepted the kind of treatment that JC had in the book because I felt like I deserved it. Even working for the Associated Press, there's a test that you have to pass in order to work there. And people were shocked because I passed the AP test.
Mm.
And it was like I
mm,
shouldn't be working there,
Right.
because
Like how dare you, or how did you get in here? Yeah.
how did you get in here? Because I was young and black. and a woman. It was just kind of like, what are you doing here? So many things that she had to deal with are, it may not have been the same situations for me, but I've dealt
Right.
with similar things.
Right.
So
And that's what I like. That's what I love about the title too. Great job on the title because it can mean so many different things. It encompasses so much because as every black girl does dance, and it's a matter of how you navigate through all the different situations, all the different circumstances, um, and that's what it meant to me as I was reading, and it just was spot on. Um, we have a few more people now, so let me just bring them on. Hi, Midnight Ace, thank you for joining us.
Mm.
JB is saying people can be so insensitive. She's talking about when we're talking about our experiences.
yes.
Um, Facebook user, if you go to the description, you can click on the link to let us know who you are. Um, let's see. Myra's saying she's getting a copy for her and her granddaughter. Don't get it yet because remember that we're doing a giveaway tonight of 2 copies of Every Black Girl Dances. So make sure to pick a number between 1 and 50, everyone, and put it in the chat, please. Just choose a number between 1 and 50 and then put it in the chat for a chance to win one of the copies of Every Black Girl Dances. Believe me, you are going to love this book. All right. Okay, so I want to get into a little bit of the relationship between JC and her boyfriend. I was it Hudson? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Um, I cringed so much just whenever it was a situation, a scene between those two. I still cannot believe that she felt like this is the person that I'm supposed to be with. Um, he degraded her. The way he talked to her, dismissed her. It just like I said made me cringe. And when a good guy actually did come into her life, Luke, she I don't know if it's because she didn't think that she deserved to have the good guy in her life, or if it was because of the history that she had with Hudson. Hudson, is that his name, Hudson? Um,
Mm-hmm.
had with Hudson. But then I had to remember that she's only in her 20s, and in your 20s, you're still making all of these mistakes, and you're trying to find out who you are and all of that. So I was trying to give her a little grace, but it was really cringe-worthy reading for that part. I was like, oh my God, she was making me tense up. Um, but a great job on it though. But Jennifer, what did you think about her relationship with Hudson?
I could not stand him at all. I didn't know why JC was with him. It was just like he just at every turn he kept reminding her that he made her and this, that, and the third, and he just degraded her. And
Yeah,
then he thought that she was just supposed to accept his possible child. Oh, now come on.
yeah. Um, it was just such a toxic relationship, and I felt sad for her.
Yeah.
Um, because she was so accomplished in her professional life, but in her personal life, she felt like she, deserved that. And she had great people. She had a really good supportive mother, a really good supportive friend in her life, but she didn't pay them any attention. She still was clinging to what she was used to, this treatment. And even though she had someone, that was right there for her and wanted to be with her, she would not take that step. Um, so I just could relate to a lot of it because I remember, back when I was younger, um, and you had those self doubts, you had a self esteem. I was shy coming up, so not as assertive back then. So I could relate to her on that in that sense too. Um, I just great job with her, which I love that we got a little bit of background as far as it seemed like we can learn. I felt like I was getting behind the scenes on how to she was a producer. Is it a producer or is she a screenwriter?
She does it all. So she
Yeah.
directs, she produces, and she writes.
Okay.
Only she
Okay.
wasn't allowed to write what was really in her heart. He had her doing all this stuff, and because he was the one really kind of footing most of the bill for
Mm-hmm.
it, or saying,
The
"Hey,
stuff that
I'm
he
gonna
thought would appeal to like degrading type of for her culture and all of that.
exactly." And when we're young, when we're her age, if it's not forever, it feels like failure.
Mm,
And she's clinging because she feels like a failure. It's
right.
like if it doesn't work out, now I'm embarrassed and now I failed. And so
Right.
many people told her she was beautiful. So many people said she was brilliant
Mm-hmm.
until she gets to the point where she meets face to face with people who are younger than her, telling her to her face, this isn't any good for us. This is
Right.
our reality. This isn't our truth. So what are you doing?
That was actually another one of my favorite scenes or standout scenes was when she went to speak at the high school and they were brutal. Those teens were brutal and they were very honest and but it was such a great scene and that was one of my favorite scenes. Is what about you, Jenna? What was your favorite scene? One of your favorite scenes?
That was my favorite scene because Luke's niece was just giving her the business.
Wasn't she?
And yeah,
These were
and,
such intelligent young people, but they
yes,
were not. They were not holding any punches, man. They were not pulling any punches with her. But she needed to. But I love the way that she handled it though. She
yeah,
started
she's
giving them.
handled
She
it.
started giving them like different asking them questions. How would you do this in different scenarios and all of that? So I love that, which got them engaged. Were engaged with her. One of my ultimate favorite scenes was the at the roller rink when they put on the choreographed skating routine. Oh man, that was done so well. I could visualize it. And
Oh,
yes, and I wanted to
that
let
was
you
one
know
of my
too.
favorites.
Yes, that was my ultimate. And I actually went and played the music that you had, that you said in the scene because I had never heard it, but I loved it. I
Oh,
loved
it's
it.
so good.
Yeah, so the great job. What about you, Jennifer? Did you play any of the music that she introduced in the book?
I haven't yet, but I am. But yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes too. And another one was when she acted like Luke's mama for the daddy and they danced. That was
Mm,
the
yes.
roller rink scene. The roller rink scene made me cry. I was back there in my bed reading, and tears was coming down.
Yes. It was so many different, just
Yeah, yeah.
poignant moments. So many of them. I highlighted one of my favorite lines is when Luke asked her, what does let me see, I'll read the line. It said, "You be surprised how often I'm asked what I hate about myself instead of focusing on what I love about myself." And and that was so poignant for me too because everybody that was bringing that negative energy to her, it was like just based on on her how she looked, and it's basically on her because she was a beautiful young lady, but they were going off of her skin tone, a lot
Yeah.
of them. And even her boyfriend would make these snide remarks about it. So like I said, every time they were in the scene together, I cringed. And I just wanted her to wake up. Like, will you wake up and realize that this is, not the person for you? But I know we all have to go through some things just to get to the other side. So, but it was uh very, very good book. JB is asking what genre of music was it that you introduced in the book? It was a little bit of
You
everything,
know,
I think.
I believe that particular song for that scene would be considered neo soul.
Neo song. Okay. And I can't. I'm trying to find the name. Do you know the name in the um the musician off the singer offhand? Because JB is a music enthusiast like me, so I know she probably want to know what the name
It's
of it is.
Colors. And it's not even one of my favorite artists. I'll tell you, I was listening to something one day and I heard the song and I was so blown away by it. And it's the line is all my favorite colors, my sisters and my brothers. And that just like as soon as I heard that, it just grabbed me. I had never heard the artist before, and actually it's slipping my mind right now. And I know I put it in the book, but I'll go back and put it in the comments for Jay.
Oh,
But
okay, yeah. Because it was
yeah,
excellent. And I even listened to the song that you had mentioned as for the roller rink with when they did the choreographed dance. I think it was Katy Perry Rise.
yes.
That was another
Oh,
one. I was like, oh, that was perfect. I can visualize it.
oh my goodness. I someone sang that at an American Idol audition when I was writing this book, and it I cried and I looked at my husband and I believe there were tears in his eyes, and then I had to look at Katie's version of it, and then I cried again, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I totally love this song, and it's everything that just embodies me.
Hmm. Yes, and I like Katy Perry, but I had never heard that song before. So yeah, so you've introduced me to two songs that I like. But we're close. We're at the time, so we're going to go ahead and do the giveaway. Okay, let's see. Did everybody put there? Looks like we do have everybody's numbers. Okay, Candice, what number did you choose?
Okay, 18.
18. So the closest, without going over, the first one is Ola. And then looks like we did have one person actually go over, but that's the next closest is Karen Davis. So the winners of the two books, uh, Every Black Girl Dances, is Ola and Karen Davis. Ladies, if you could send me your mailing address, I'll actually put my email address in the comments so you can email it to me. And then I'll get this out to you.
Congratulations.
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 Yes.
Just
And
know I tried to get one before the show, y'all.
yes, you did. Yes, you did. But I'm gonna hook you up, Jennifer. I'm gonna hook you up. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Candice, for joining us this evening. I really, really enjoyed the book. Jennifer, any final words, comments for Candice?
I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna read more of your books because, like I said, I can relate to this book, and this book had all kinds of lessons, and it was definitely a blessing for me to read it. So I'm
Hmm.
glad Cheryl asked me to co-host with her and read this book.
Hmm.
Thank
Yeah,
y'all
I
so
agree. I
much.
agree.
Thank you. It's just it really truly was a book from my heart. So I appreciate y'all so much for that.
You're very welcome. And we both read a lot of books, so we're telling you that this was a good read. So, congratulations on it, and continue success with it. And have a great evening. And thank you for joining us.
Mm,
Y'all too. Thank you, everyone.
mm,
All right. We're going to get to our next guest this evening. And moment. Uh, all right. All right. So next up is another great read. We were two for two on these. And that book is Love on the Ninth Floor by Aries Skye. And this was another good read for us. And that's the cover on the screen for those who are watching. And if you're listening again, that's Love on the Ninth Floor by Aries Skye. And she was just here. Let's maybe she popped out and about to pop back on. Okay. And again, this episode is being brought to you this evening by in partnership with Black Odyssey Media. And you can check Black Odyssey's roster of authors out at blackodyssey.net. And let's see. And that's the logo for Black Odyssey Media. And again, you can check them out at blackodyssey.net. And here are a few of the authors under their roster that you can check out. And they have others that I've checked out and I have enjoyed. So definitely give them a try. All right. So tonight I'm going to bring on Aries Skye, the next author.
Hi.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
When did you change name another pen name? Wait a minute. Oh man. Welcome. I truly
Hi.
enjoyed your book as well.
Thank you.
Great job. So for those who are new to you, can you give us a little background on yourself and how you got started on this writing journey?
Sure. Well, look, since we all family, Cheryl
Right.
knows this. Cheryl knows this. It is in the back of the book too. So I try for those who knew, and those who didn't know, they're gradually finding out. But Aries Skye is my alter pseudo. My original pseudo is Untamed.
Mm-hmm.
So I journeyed over, I should say. So my writing journey started a long time ago, if I should say, if I can say it like that. But I would say, as far as Aries Skye's writing journey, that was something that was kind of near to me. It was Black romance. It's all of the everything that genre will be written in is thank you. It's Black romance. But under Untamed, I do a lot of other genres, and I just
Mm-hmm.
felt like Black romance is such a niche audience that I wanted to distinguish it so the readers would know that this is
Is that Aries?
exactly what this is for. Mhm.
Okay. And I know other authors who do that too, where if it's this name that under this name, then you're getting a particular type of romance or whatever. Um,
Yes.
so I've seen that before. And then we have Katina saying hello.
Hello,
Um,
hello.
all right. So again, we really enjoyed Candice's book, and we really enjoyed your book. Me and Jennifer was talking about it
Mhm.
before we came on.
Yes.
And for those who haven't read it yet, can you give like an overview of what it's about? Love on the Ninth Floor.
Sure. Love on the Ninth Floor. It is a story about a dentist by the name of Niecy Richards and a firefighter by the name of Kanan Jordan.
Mm.
And Niecy, listen,
I know that's
I,
right.
I, I love Kanan. DC is she's at work. She's in this story building in her job, and she gets stuck on the elevator, and they can't get off. And so they call in fire and rescue, and the person who opens those doors is this gloriously delicious man named Kanan. He introduces himself, and she doesn't remember because her ankle is hurting, and she gets rushed out to like triage, little mini triage with the paramedics and stuff. And so her office and they are TikTok famous.
Yes.
So her sisters decide to tell her, listen, if you want to find a man to tell him thank you, then do a TikTok and see if you can find him that way. And it goes like massively viral. And so his best friend, who's also a firefighter, he tells him, hey, this lady that you rescued when we went to the call, she's looking for you. It's on TikTok. His brother tells him. So he responds via TikTok, and then like everything goes viral because everybody in all of Florida is invested
Right.
in
And
this
them.
TikTok. because they're based out of Miami, Florida. So then once they meet up, they go on a date, and well, it wasn't a date per se. It was supposed to be a meetup just
Right.
to say
Just to
thank
thank him.
you.
Just to thank you. Right.
Just to thank you. But both of them laid eyes on each other on this meetup, and that's where the drama ensued.
Right. That's where it goes from there. Right.
That's
Right.
where the
Right.
drama
Uh,
ensues.
we have Facebook user saying hello. If you go to the
Hello.
description, you can click the link to give StreamYard permission to show your face so we know who you are. Lisa Whitehead is in the audience. Hey, thank you for joining us. Myra is saying hello. Oh, it popped up. Lisa and all hell breaks loose. That's what she said. Right, right, Lisa. All hell breaks loose after that. Yes. You are so right. Now, how did you come up with the concept as far as building it around TikTok?
So that was interesting because the base in the very base of this story happened in real life.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
was it really did. It was the dentist's name is Haley Logan and the firefighter's name was David. It was a little different because she wasn't at work, but she's a dentist and she was stuck in the elevator. And he, firefighter rescued her, and she thought he was like this glorious man. And she wasn't TikTok famous, but she did a TikTok just to see if she could find him. And she did, and he was married. So she just said thank you over TikTok, and that was the end of it. So I just built this whole story
Oh, I
around that
love
kind of
that.
person.
I love that. I love that. It's um let's see. We have Tony Benita saying good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Um Now, as far as your writing journey, what do you know now that you wish you had known when you first started out?
Oh man. So it's so much that I know now. I think one thing that the biggest thing that I know now is just creating the time and the space. Like you have to be in a headspace to write certain things, and you have to carve out that time, and you have to not rush it or not be in a position to where you're just kind of trying to write despite everything that's going on around you, because as
Mhm.
creatives you'll do that. You'll try to just, regardless of what's going on, let me try to write. And I realized, you know what, if today is not the day, today is not the day. If I have things going on with my kids, in my
Right.
household, my husband, and I just don't have it, I'm just not going to try to force it, because not forcing it to me allows me to create a better story. It allows me to freely think. I don't feel like my writing is forced.
Right.
So I just, I've learned to appreciate patience in my writing, in
and,
my craft.
and to give yourself grace, because I go through that too,
Yes,
even with the show, trying to force, when I'm not in that headspace. So
exactly.
I definitely get that, and I love that. JB is saying that's hilarious as far as where you got the concept, and
Yes.
um,
And
and
it like that fell. That was, I always say that was nothing but God, because I had already said, like, my plan was, I had my pseudo, I knew what I wanted to do, and I was like, what story am I gonna write? And I was I have no clue. I was scrolling through Instagram, and the story was on some gossip headline that I don't even follow. But it took me down this
right,
rabbit hole, and I was just like, I was so interested, and I was just like, you know what? No, I'm writing a story about this, because I was upset that that story ended with, I mean, of course, I'm glad nothing happened because he's married
right,
with
right,
kids, but I was upset, like, no, I want to know what would have happened. And, the whole thing is, if you see a story that you want to see, you got to write it. So I was like, this is
right.
the first story. And so, I have no clue if they have siblings or anything like that. All of that was made up.
Okay, okay. I love though how you were able to just create your own narrative around that. Like Katina is saying, that was a great platform to build on. And let's see, Lisa is saying like people pressing you, pressing you for books. That could be a lie. I'm sure all the authors can relate to that. Yeah. Like,
Yes,
when are
and
we getting the next book?
Lisa presses me all the time for books.
Oh
So
man.
see, I know. That's why that's hilarious coming from her.
Now, I wanted to ask you this. What book or movie was it that made you first fall in love with romance?
Ooh,
Or one that stands
prob-
out to you? I know it's probably hard to think about.
probably if I could say any author who the entire romance feel of it was probably Terry McMillan because like
Uh,
that her books like Wait Until Hell and Disappear Acts and all those came out during a time where I was picking up reading that genre going it was more labeled as urban back then, but that was really true like black love, black romance. And so those movies, and then of course the 90s movies, like you got your Love Jones and you got
right, right.
you got I don't necessarily care for Love and Basketball because I didn't like
You
Quincy,
don't?
but Quincy was toxic. It's like Quincy was toxic. I was like, no, I'm not gonna play you for my heart.
Right, right. I get you on that. Yep.
Yeah, so I
Oh
mean, but it was
man,
a good movie though. But
it was a good
Brown
movie, and it came
Sugar.
on the other night too, and I got a chance to rewatch. Yeah.
You did. Yes. So, and I love Brown Sugar. Brown Sugar was my that was my movie. So
Yeah, so many of them. And then now what main characters, because of how um the story is in this book, Love on the ninth floor, uh the main characters fall hard and fast. Do you believe in love at first sight?
oh, absolutely.
You see, I don't.
Absolutely. I believe in love at first sight. Actually, my husband would say he fell in love with me at first sight. He really
Okay,
did.
okay.
So, and I look, I had to check him to be sure he wasn't lying on his story, but he he actually went to the mall. I met him at the mall, and he went to the mall to get numbers. And he said when he saw me and he talked to me, and I was a little standoffish because I literally had just told my best friend 2 days ago that I wasn't giving my number to another man, and so and I just couldn't tell him no. He was just the sweetest thing. And so we have the same nickname. And when I told him my nickname, because I never tell anybody my full name when I first meet him, he just
Okay.
laughs. And I was just like, "What is your problem?" He was like, "That's my name too." That was our icebreaker.
Oh
And
man, that's a good one too.
yes, and so we that night, like he told me later, after we've been dating a while, he was like, he told his brother there's something about her, and I don't want to get another number. It's something about her. That night we talked on the phone for like 5 hours,
Ah,
and
Wow.
we have not been separated ever since.
okay, okay. Because whenever I read something where it's like this, like, and I guess I do for as a romantic, I believe in it, but I always think there's more like instant lust or something like that than it is instant love. But in your book, I really enjoy the dynamics between the two main characters,
Yes,
and Kanan and Nisi. Now, it was I love the dynamic as far as when Kanan had told her of his relationship with River.
hmm
That threw me because I wasn't expecting that as far as them having that open, relationship. And I just
yes,
was thinking about in my own life, well, how would I would have responded just like Nisi, like,
like
no,
Nisi, like
right. I don't care what y'all have. I'm not about I'm not going there. Because at first it
yes,
did seem like he was trying to say you can come on board or something like that. If you down, you can come. It's just like I don't want no parts of that.
so
Um,
like with Kanan, it was interesting because up until that point where he saw her, he acknowledged that she was attractive, but he wasn't interested. And
right.
it was taking him by, it caught him off guard that when he actually saw her, he couldn't, contend with the feelings he was having because he was just like the entire time. why am I feeling this way? Like his internal thoughts were just all over the place because he's
Right.
like, I'm in this open relationship, but I'm not even here for this. I'm just here to do the good and go home. And he's like,
Right,
why am I
right.
feeling this chick so hard? And so even when he, made the very lackluster attempt to
Yes.
stop what happened from happening,
I'm about to say he
he
didn't try very hard.
yeah, he
Yeah,
ain't let
no, he didn't.
it was one of those things where okay, he didn't try too hard because he did want what he want. He was
right,
being a
right,
man in that moment.
right.
But he knew better, like he had to come in and say something because in that moment he just knew like, okay, well listen, I know she's not about this. But by then it's one of those things where, okay, well, I have unlocked something and I don't want to put the cuckoo back in you can't put the cuckoo back in the clock right now. So
Hmm.
let's try to see what
Hmm.
we can do. How can we fix this? And DC was like, I ain't having it. Bye.
Right, right. Um, Now I did think, oh, let me see what JB is saying. She said, great, she loved that story. She said her and her husband talked for 3 hours and now they've been married for 32 years. Love that.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Love that. All of us love romance. So I love all these romantic stories. Now, before we go any further, just so you know, in the audience, we're going to have another giveaway. This one is going to be we're doing 5 ebooks of Love on the Ninth Floor. So I'm about to call you Untamed. So Aries, are you do you want to choose a number between 1 and 50, and then whoever gets the closest, uh, the first 5 that gets the closest would win?
Sure, that works.
Okay, or do you want to do the other one that I had said in the email?
Um, the first one works about the
Okay.
numbers.
Okay. Yeah. So if you could just come up with a number between 1 and 50, and then everyone, if you could put in the comments a number between 1 and 50, and the ones that are two that are, I mean, the 5 that are closest will win an ebook, Love on the Ninth Floor. And believe me, if you haven't read it yet, you're gonna love it. There are a lot of little
Yes,
twists and turns, and
yes, yes, Lord. I wanted to come in your inbox so bad today after I finished reading it, and I said, no, I'm gonna wait and ask and talk to her tonight.
Oh, y'all can hop in my inbox anytime y'all want to.
Yeah, because it was, man. I'm like, because Nicia started kind of getting on my nerves too. As we went on, I'm trying to write down these numbers as I'm talking, but because it got to the point I understood where she was coming from, but then it got to the point where it was just, to me, it was just trying to prove a point and she was being stubborn. Do you agree with that?
So, in a way, yes, but in a way, no. So I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Um, the thing that happened in the midst of all of this miscommunication that was going on between them, she ends up, getting back with Benji.
Right.
And as we find out, that is not by happenstance, but she thinks it's by happenstance.
Right.
And so
Mhm.
she feels that this relationship is faded. She's already like tossed him to the side once before, and he's trying so hard. And so she's like, in her mind, she's like, I need to focus over here, and you are a distraction. And so she doesn't realize that certain things were put in place to why
Right.
he is a distraction. And she doesn't know that Benji knows certain things, and he's pretending that he doesn't know.
Yes.
So it it's a little bit of her, so it's like a three-part thing. It's a little bit of how they, end up meeting again,
Right.
his secret, and then her stubbornness. So, because she is a little stubborn too, right? So
Yes.
it's like a mixed
Mhm.
pot. It's a few things going on in that pot that's keeping her. But like she said to, I won't say who she said it to because I don't want to tell everybody who did it. But if you hadn't interfered, there's no telling what
Right.
I would have done.
Right.
So, that is, and that's
Mhm.
true for her. She just kind of was like putting him off more so because she's like not trying to dog this guy who she knows and was her friend, and And now he's back and she knows how much he cares. And little does she know.
Right. That is a lot going on behind the scenes, or stuff that went on in on his part and other people's part. But
Yes.
I think this would be a good place to do the little snippet read for
Okay.
everybody.
Awesome. Okay, y'all. I try. Look, I'm gonna try to adhere to the time.
No, you can but I'm about to bring you forward. So if you don't see us, we still here. It's just I'm bringing
Okay,
you
that's
forward when you do the
fine.
read. Okay.
All right, you guys. Well, here is a snippet from Love on the Ninth Floor. And just to give you a setup, this is actually when Niecy and Kanan are on their dinner date, should I say, when they met for the first time. I never understood the phrase having an out of body experience when meeting someone. I didn't believe in instant attraction or love at first sight until Caden. He made me a believer. Law, that man was everything. When I first spotted him in the restaurant, I nearly buckled. If I thought he was fine in his videos and even in my frazzled state when he rescued me, it was nothing compared to the man I walked in on at Brick. He was fresh dressed, and his woodsy cedarwood scent made my juices brew. When he stood to embrace me, I nearly passed out. All 6 feet and more of him, embodied with muscles, a charming smile, and gorgeous hair, had me and all my highly educatedness stuck on stupid. His everything was just sexy as hell. To get over my astonishment at his outer sexiness, I surmised he was all brawn and no brain. But I was wrong. Not just wrong, but dead wrong. He was intelligent and could converse about something more than himself and his muscles. He wasn't arrogant as most guys would be, and he respected my space and how he spoke to me. He was a gentleman through and through, and I knew when then that his parents had raised him right. He further reassured me when he insisted on paying for the meal. Obviously, I was prepared and more than willing to pay for it. That, of course, was my reason for inviting him out. However, the fact that he took such great pride in taking care of the check meant he wanted to be the man and provider in the relationship, not a boy posing as a man. The kind of poser who looks for a woman to take care of him. No, Mr. Kanan Jordan was all man, a thoroughbred. When I followed him to the beach, I was grateful I had my Chanel slides in the back of my car. He allowed me to change out of my heels, and keeping his word, he draped his jacket over my shoulders before we began walking. He was the consummate gentleman. We walked and talked for several minutes before deciding to rent a privacy covered cabana to lay inside and look out at the ocean and night sky. Once we settled inside, he ensured that I was taken care of. Are you good? Comfortable? He asked, his face full of concern. Nodding, I pulled his jacket tighter around me. I'm good. Good. He lay back with his arm behind his head and the other draped around my shoulder. Man, I can remember the last time I had so much fun, relaxing and enjoying myself. Thank you for this. Shoot, I should be thanking you at this point, I said, and I was serious. He glimpsed down at me, inquisitiveness furrowing his brow. Why do you say that? I motioned around me. The whole idea of it. For as long as I've lived in Miami, I've never done this. Rented a cabana on the beach. I'm not shocked at that, he shrugged. Most people travel the world looking for wonders that can be found in their backyard. I've learned to appreciate the moments surrounding me. Kanan said as I snuggled against him, enjoying the warmth of his body. Christ, this man has a way with words. It's when you say things like that that I wonder where you came from. I'm a rare breed, but so are you. Intrigued, I glanced up at him and asked, How so? He paused for a moment as if contemplating, then answered, Your vibe. You have every right to act like a high sedity woman with her ass on her shoulders because of your accomplishments, but you don't. You're chill and down to earth. Then you're not a typical Miami chick. You enjoy things like social media, but for the reason it was intended, to connect and have fun. Not to flash your body for likes and sell your soul for attention. It shows me that you're rooted in the same kind of stable foundation I am. Even the fact that you almost boxed me to pay the bill. A lot of these women not only expect the man to pay the bill, but take issue with how they pay it. If you've got cash, then your credit must be bad. If you pay by credit card, you're irresponsible and have no money in the bank. And if you pay by debit card, you have no credit or bad credit. It's a never ending cycle of what she can get from him instead of what value she can add to him. Likewise, men are just as bad. I'm not ashamed to tell the truth about it. Many of them run after those types of women, then complain about them, but will bypass a woman like you and say she's too independent or headstrong. Our generation got the game all wrong, and most don't even know themselves, let alone what they want from another person. You and I, we are rare, but rare is gold, in my opinion. Just like that, my lace songs were drenched. My heart skipped 10 beats trying to find the one that could calm me down. I had no idea I'd been staring at him until he flashed a half smile as his forehead creased. What? Did I say something wrong? He asked. Contrary, he'd said everything right, done everything right, showed me everything right about him. I saw value in the pursuit and wanted to be sought after. But how rare was it that a person didn't have to pursue what they hoped one day to find? Fate decided to hand deliver us to each other, no pursuit needed. My sisters and friends' words replayed in my mind. No idling in wait. I'd take the plunge. I'd take it for Canaan. I didn't answer his question, but instead brought my mouth to his and gently kissed him. He pecked mine back, being careful not to force more, but I longed for more. So I deepened the kiss, and I felt his resistance. Nisi, he breathed out. I brought my finger to his lips. Tonight, you taught me about living in the moment, living it with me. And that's it.
Love it, love it. Oh man, and great read, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes. And I wanted to talk a little bit too about the relationship between Nisi and Benji.
Yes.
Um, and it was almost like, well, she could tell that something wasn't working. It's like she was
Mm-hmm.
trying to force something to work that she wasn't really sure about. And with him, it seemed like he was obsessive
Yes.
um, to the point of like, it's like he needed her to, you know, be as all in as he was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he just rubbed me. I don't know why. I felt for him. I really did. Um,
But
what
I
about you,
felt
Jen?
for
What about you, Jennifer? What was your take on their relationship?
I I felt like it was something strange about him, and the reason why he came back into her life. I knew something was shady
Mm,
when they met up. So, and it was
hmm
just like she knew she didn't want to be with him, and
hmm
I don't know why she tried to in the beginning. And anyway, when she knew she wanted Cannon anyhow.
listen, and she didn't know Kaden had the situation had dissolved with Kaden, but then she didn't give him a chance because she was still a little irritated, a little mad about what he did.
Right, right, right,
So she didn't give him a chance to explain that part. Then we
right.
did explain it, and she,
She
left him with
still
yes, and then she ends up seeing him and River together. So then they was like, "Oh no, you still back on
right,
playing mom
right.
life."
And I can see that because your mind automatically would go there, like, okay, he lied again, he lied to me. But like I said, it felt more like she was just being like stubborn, but also like what's the word I'm looking for? Um,
She was being cautious too, I think, to
yeah,
a certain
Yeah.
extent.
yeah.
She was. And then too, we gotta say, like, she's hiding her feelings like deeply for Kaden. Like
Yes, she's
she's
even hiding from
Mhm.
hiding
herself.
You're right. She's hiding it from herself. She doesn't want to admit the truth. And part of that is because she is truly scared. Like this man, she knows he could break her heart.
Mhm.
She knows this. Because he was the only because if you think about it, he was the only guy. Like her, everybody, her best
That's true.
friend,
I forgot
her
about that.
sisters, where like you need to find a man and you don't have time for me. Like you're not giving anybody a chance. Like she
Right.
didn't care for anybody she even dated like that. She had a one track mind, her career, and that was it.
Right.
Kanan was the only person who really tapped into her heart. And
Right.
so she was like, oh no. Oh
A Facebook user is saying they were both vulnerable, and it makes the chemistry between them intense.
no.
Uh, and she was saying that she loved the line, last line that you read. Is one of her faves.
Yes.
Um, yeah. There were so many. I had a few favorite scenes. I enjoyed the scene at the firehouse where she went with the kids
Yeah.
to do the demonstration. I love that scene. Um, what was your favorite scene, Jennifer, in the book?
Mine was when they first went out after, everything happened. And then my second one when she confronted her, what happened when they was at dinner at her
Hmm.
at her mom and dad's
Oh yeah.
house.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, another one for me too that I thought was a poignant moment was when they were at when her and Benji were at her parents' house, and her father and her mother both said they liked him. He was a good guy, but he wasn't for her. They both saw that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
They both noticed that. Katina is asking, what is the age range of the characters?
So they are in their mid to late 20s. She was 26, 27 throughout the duration of the book, and he was like 28.
Okay, so in their 20s, and that is too where, like I was just saying with the previous book, um, they're finding their way. In your 20s, you're trying to find your way, and
Exactly.
and coming into who you are as an adult. So I could see that too, and I could see that with Kanan too, because I was like, if he had been like older, I would have been like, okay, you too old to be in any kind of relationship like that with like River.
Yeah, see, and that's why that was one of the things is like he just knew, and his one of the things I love, even though his best friend he's a dog, but his best
Hmm.
friend also spoke truth. When he
Yes.
confronted
That,
him and he told him like
yeah.
what his issue was, and
Hmm.
she was like, "Nah, you've been stuck in this open relationship." You know what I'm saying? And now
Right,
somebody
right, right,
done
right.
dinged your
Yeah,
bell, and you don't know how to deal with
Right, right.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, and I gotta tell you, I love Kinston. Is how you pronounce his name, Kinston. I
Yes.
loved Kanan's brother. I loved him too, and I loved their relationship. Um,
Yes.
like
That
It's
the little thing might be happening. A little romance might be happening his way too, huh? Uh,
yes.
it's the brother getting a book.
Yes, that is
okay.
so Love on the Rebound is the next book and it's about Angela and Kinston.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, because I loved him. And let me just tell you, I was reading, but I also was listening because I was doing a lot, so I had to do both. And I don't always listen, but I was doing both. And I have to tell you, I love the guy who was narrating for Kanan. Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
Tony Isabella. He is amazing. I love that right now. He and a few others who've been kind of plugging away at this audio book
Mhm.
genre for a while, they are getting their shine now. And I think Tony Isabella has done a lot of urban. And I'm finally seeing him crossing over to black romance. And I'm like, oh, sir, you have found your way.
Yes. Oh my goodness. His voice. Oh my Jennifer. You have to just do the sample of the voice just so you can. Oh man, 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 man.
Hear
I was
his
like,
voice.
oh, that if
I definitely will.
you think you like him from just reading about him. Oh my goodness, that voice is gonna do it to you. But no pun intended. But uh, uh, Facebook user said, "Will his bestie?" Oh yeah, she just said that. Yes, they will be getting a. Oh, she said the bestie. Will the bestie be getting a story?
So the third story is about Akila, which is the oldest sister, but that's coming out. That's called Love on Board. That's coming out in 2025. I don't want to give away who her story is with quite
Okay,
yet, but because
okay,
she's married,
Oh, that's right. She is yes. Okay. Okay.
She's married as
So
well.
we got some. We
You
got some stuff coming
Yeah.
up. Okay.
yes, and you'll see. So kind of how I did this. As you can see, all of them are present, and you see the dynamic between Niecy and Angela because that's who Niecy was closest to. But
Right.
you also see Akila coming there because that's the older
Yes.
sister. That's Big Sis. And so in Love on the Rebound, you see all of the sisters together again, but you see the dynamic between Angela and Akila. And it was really important for me to kind of build on their relationship because in book one, I showed them how they are when because they're kind of like oil and water.
Right.
And
Right.
Yeah.
so I showed them how they are. But I wanted to show like they're oil and water, but they're still sisters. Like that's
Right.
still
They
like
still love each other. Right.
yeah, we still love each other, and that comes out heavily in book two because book two they will get to meet Keela's husband, and Angela is not a fan.
Right. Right.
So
I
she's
got
just
that from this book that
Yeah.
she
Me
wasn't
too.
a
Yeah.
fan. You
Right.
know?
she is not a fan, and she's even more so not a fan in
In
book
second book.
two. And
and,
so yeah,
and her parents too, because when they was at that dinner, Mama
yes.
and Daddy was a mess.
Listen, mama is hilarious. I love their mom. She was hilarious in that way because she just was straight up too, you know. And so that yeah, they have their reasons not to like Akila's husband, and so and Niecy doesn't like him either, but she's the baby, so she kind of stays out of it, you know, her and Angela are a little bit closer in age. So
Right.
they she sees a lot, she knows a lot more that she lets on. And actually Akila confides in her a lot more. But again, that's just showing their dynamic. Like, yeah, they have
Hmm.
different personalities, so they don't mix sometimes, but they are sisters and they love each other.
Right.
Mhm.
And it seemed like Niecy took on the role of being the peacemaker between the
Yeah,
two other sisters.
Yeah.
So she has that role, and so it was nice to see it was interesting to see the dynamics between the three sisters and their
exactly.
relationships. But we are at the time, so I want to do the giveaway.
Okay.
Um, did you choose a number already between 1 and 50?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what is it?
38.
38. All right. And so we have the closest to the 38 is JB is one. Congratulations, JB. And the other, okay, Facebook user, you got to tell us who you are so I know who you are. Facebook user is the second one.
Okay.
So let oh, I forgot we're doing five. Not okay, so we have JB, we have Facebook user, and then let's see. We have we have Lisa, we have Katina, and Tony Benito, you're over. Sherelle is she's far from it, but she not over. So Sherelle is the other one. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have JB Facebook user, and we need to know who you are, Facebook user. Lisa, Katina, and Sherelle. You are all winners of an ebook of Love on the Ninth Floor. Aries, do you want them to just inbox you their email? Or you want me to get it and send it to you?
You if you would
Oh,
send
I
it to
forgot
me,
I'm
that would
supposed to
be
get
great.
it because I've got to give it to I have to give it to Shawanda. Okay. I'll get it. So inbox me
Okay.
your email addresses, everyone. And then I'll send it over to our sponsor, who is the publisher for Love on the Ninth Floor. And then you'll receive your ebook. Everyone is saying, what is it saying? This is, oh, that's Lisa. Why did it start showing Facebook user? I wonder. That's strange. Okay, so that's Lisa. I already have you though, Lisa. So I'm getting confused. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, that's why, because it's two Lisas. Okay, so Lisa Wood is one, and then Lisa Whitehead is the other one. She's the Facebook user.
Okay.
All right, because I'm like, wait a minute, I'm getting confused. Okay, I don't know why it was showing her name earlier. I don't know why it ended up saying Facebook user. So congratulations to the winners, and I'll send forward this over to our sponsor, who is the publisher, and you'll receive your ebook of Love on the Ninth Floor. And if you haven't read it yet, you're gonna love it. And
Yay.
congratulations to all the winners. And Aries Skye, congratulations on the book. And
Thank you.
thank you so much for coming on the show. I loved it. I really enjoyed the book. Jennifer, thank you for co-hosting this evening. And I know you enjoyed the book.
Anytime, anytime. I loved the book. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you. I'm so glad y'all loved it.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to reading the next two in the series. But the other, well, we'll wait and see what comes up. Okay, so Ola is saying congratulations as well to everyone, and everyone is saying thank you, and they had a great evening. Um, so we'll be on the lookout for the next book. Do you know when it's coming out yet?
Yes, it is coming out November of this year. So
Okay.
be on the lookout
Okay.
for Love on the Rebound. I'm so excited. And just so y'all will know this, because this didn't happen in Love on the Ninth Floor. The prologue for Love on Board is going to be at the end of Love on the Rebound. So I'm just gonna say when you get Love on the Rebound, I love I love Angela. And for everyone who loves Kanan and Nisi, I feel like you're gonna love Angela and Kinston just that much more.
Oh, really?
Um,
Okay.
their
Okay.
story is very interesting, but you also are gonna get this prologue to Akila's story at the end, and it's explosive. So
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
cannot wait until it comes out.
Oh, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I
okay.
can't wait. Oh man, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I can't wait for it. Now is Nisi and Kanan gonna be involved in the other two books as well? Or are they still gonna be
Oh yeah, they're gonna show up, and
okay?
like all of both Kinston and Kanan, Nisi, Angela, Keela, they're gonna show up in all each of the stories, so
Okay, good.
they'll
I
be
just want to
there.
make sure. Good, good, good. I can't wait. So again, everyone, thank you for joining us this evening. I appreciate it. Thank you for being so engaged. And again, thank you, Aries Sky, for coming on. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you so much for having me, ladies.
You're welcome. And good evening, everyone. And enjoy the rest of your night.
Good night.